Hello and welcome to today's video. For today, I'm going to be going through my reading journal and the beginning pages that I've already set up. This is my very first end paper page. So I drew a map on a separate piece of paper and I just glued this in. I was going to use somebody else's that they had made, but then I decided to make my own because I wanted to do my own personal touches of kind of tropes and stuff that I like. I have done a digital version of this, but yeah. And then we go into my title page. I drew the 2025 on my iPad and then printed it out and cut it out. And then this is my 2025 books of 2025. So every time I finish a book, I just color in my rating. And for this year, I'm doing all of my spreads and stuff on my iPad and then printing it out. Whereas last year I was doing more drawing, and the year before that I did more scrapbook style. This is my reading tracker. I think I have 110 books. It's going not too bad. Oh, and there's my cat getting in the way as usual. And then here's my new releases page. So the highlighted parts are the books I have bought. And as you can see, the last half of the year is very empty because those books haven't been announced as much yet, at least that I've noticed. And I'll probably add those in as I go. I don't know if I've decided if I'm going to handwrite them or if I'm going to print them out. I'll probably print them out. So yeah, just going through that. It's empty a little bit. And then this is my library book tracker. So I saw somebody do where they keep track of the books they use at the library and to see how much they saved. But I was also originally going to track the books I got from Audible and Spotify to see how much I saved with using the subscription. But I haven't quite decided if I want to do that yet. So yeah. And then this is my DNF graveyard. Thankfully, no DNFs yet. And then these are my top 12 books of the year. I wasn't originally going to do per month, but I forgot, and so here we are. So I'm just adding in my February one, and this glue got all messed up, so. But yeah, I like Deep End for February was my favorite. And obviously Onyx Storm was my favorite for January, even though I did reread Fourth Wing and Iron Flame, but because they were new. This is my Slow Readers book club book, my book club page. So we do 2-month reads. So Babel is for February and March, and then my reading rating system, and I've used the Peach system, which is like a play off of the Kalpal. I think I can't remember what it's called, but I'll have the Peach one of the woman who created it. I'll have her video linked in the description. And Loki's getting in the way again. And this is my book bingo. I tried to use washi tape to cover the numbers so I didn't know where it would go, but as you can tell, it's a little see-through, but it's fine. So I thought this would be kind of fun because I don't know where the completed prompt is gonna go. And yeah, okay, excuse me, Loki, I think he's hungry. And then here are my monthly stats. I did this my first year and I didn't do this page last year, but it's kind of fun. So I just went through all of my February stuff and calculated everything. So just going through that here. But I kind of like having the little brief monthly overview at the beginning before all of the individual months. kind of flipping through them quickly, and then let's get into January. And so here I did this again on my iPad, and the quote says, "A disco ball is hundreds of pieces of broken glass put together to make a magical ball of light. You aren't broken, you are a disco ball." And I just noticed that it wasn't super visible there. And this is my stats page and the books I read in January. And I was having issues with gluing, so there was a bit of bubbles, and so I decided to do a different layout for my reviews this year as well, and I wanted to include pictures because that was super fun, but I didn't always do that for the previous years. So this was kind of interesting because I did like full, like more in-depth reviews per book and used up a bit more space, which is nice. So then here's February. And now that quote said, "Roses are red, watches are gold, now get on your knees and do what you're told." A little spicy, but I had to for February. I love a good romance and spice book, so I had to. Apologies if that's not your thing. And so here I'm just updating it and adding the pages I did and got printed for February. I actually use my library to get these printed, because if I was doing this much color on my home printer, I would have to get a new cartridge after like 5 pages. So I just used my library. It was nice and cheap, and you know, you're supporting your local library. So that's what I did. And I got the sizing wrong for some of the pages, but it's fine. And it's a lot harder to line up the pages than I thought, and obviously I had to do some trimming, but that's okay. And I've been trying to figure out what glue to use. So originally I was using a glue stick, but that's what was causing the bubbles. So now I'm using the glue tape, I think it's called, which seemed to work a bit better and helped me avoid the bubbles, but I ran out of it so quick. So just flattening everything out, and I'll just cut that part at the bottom later on. So here we're just getting into, again, the reviews. They're all pretty much the same layout, just obviously different books. And let's add in the ones I haven't done yet. And as you can see, this one I kind of cut or sized a bit too small for what I was kind of planning, but again, it's not that big of a deal. Also, I'm noticing that it's not super in focus. I didn't realize it wasn't in focus this whole time, so apologies for that. It's a little blurry. And just fair warning, if you can read the reviews, there might be spoilers. Also, actually all of the pictures I think I've used I got from Pinterest. Sometimes it's kind of hard if the book isn't as well known. I have struggles finding photos, but then I kind of just look up what I'm actually looking for, not necessarily the art specifically for that book, if you know what I mean. And yeah, so I had to resort back to my glue stick because the glue tape ran out. I didn't have any more refills. So I've heard of Zodiac Academy, but then what made me actually read this was one of my colleagues at work read it, and I was like, well, okay. But I did not realize this was such a long book. Also not a long book, but a long series. Same with the Ice Planet Barbarians. I had logged on Goodreads that I had read it and then noticed that there was 22 books in the series. Holy. But they were both so good, so I'll get to the rest of them at some point. All right, so now let's put in my March. Literally just the title pages. Again, I did these on my iPad and printed them out at the library. And so the quote for March is, "Every man needs a woman when his life is a mess, because the queen protects the king, just like in the game of chess." I also had watched The Queen's Gambit, I believe, on Netflix. That's the chess TV series. I think I watched that in February, and I just love the idea of chess. I only know the basics, but my son also has been super into chess recently too, so kind of inspired me for March's theme. And it was green for St. Patrick's Day, so I thought that was kind of a cute little mashup. Just doing my best here to try and minimize the bubbles as much as possible, but I don't think I succeeded. I still don't understand why it's not in focus. I wonder if my lens was dirty. I'm so sorry about that. Hopefully it's not bothering too many people. I will definitely check that for future videos. Can I put enough glue down? Holy. Watching this, I just noticing how much I put glue. It just seemed like it kept drying so fast, but oh well. And then, of course, I lined it up wrong, so we gotta readjust. Again with the dang bubbles. This is driving me crazy. I definitely think the glue tape stuff is better, but I was not about to go out and go grab more cartridges right then, so I'll have to do that before I do my March little update. Gotta get all the corners, and now with gluing pretty much every page in, this journal is already getting so thick. I'll show at the end here of how thick it's getting, but we've only done 2 months and it's already super thick. I can only imagine how thick it's gonna be at the end of the year, but that's pretty much it for the little update. It's getting super mad here at the bubbles. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.